Ladies and gentlemen, life is full of challenges. Some are small, like a delay or a mistake. Others are great, like loss, fear, or uncertainty. The mind often reacts first, and if it reacts with anger, fear, or panic, it makes the situation worse. But we can train our minds to stay calm, no matter what happens. Here are 5 simple principles to guide us. Focus only on what you can control. Life is full of events, people, and circumstances that we cannot influence. The moment we try to control what is outside our power, we create unnecessary suffering for ourselves. Imagine the frustration when someone speaks harshly to you. You cannot control their words, but you can control your reaction. You can choose to respond with patience, or you can choose to respond with anger. The words themselves belong to another person. Your control lies in how you receive them, how you allow them to affect your mind. Many people waste energy trying to change what cannot be changed. They worry about the past, regret mistakes, or fear what may come in the future. None of these things are within their direct control. The past is already gone, and the future is uncertain. What is left is the present moment and how we act in it. By turning our attention to what is within our power, we become grounded. Focusing on what you can control means understanding the difference between your own actions and the actions of others. You cannot force someone to be kind, honest, or fair, but you can choose to be kind, honest, and fair yourself. You cannot prevent hardships from occurring, but you can choose how you face them. Every thought, word, and action that comes from you is within your power. When you realize this, a deep sense of freedom emerges. No one can take away your peace unless you allow it. The storms of life may rage around you, but your inner calm can remain untouched when you focus on your own mind and behavior. This principle also requires self-discipline. It is easy to be distracted by the opinions of others or by events beyond your reach. The mind naturally wants to control everything, but that is impossible. A mind trained to focus on what it can control is like a lamp that shines steadily in darkness. It does not flicker at every external disturbance because it knows its light depends only on itself. You can practice this in small ways each day. If traffic delays you, notice that the cars are outside your control, but your patience is within it. If someone speaks unkindly, notice that their words are outside your control, but your response is within it. Over time, this awareness becomes a habit. Focusing on what you can control also includes your thoughts. Often, the mind wanders into fear, worry, or resentment. These are not caused by the outside world directly, but by your interpretation of it. You have the power to choose your thoughts, to redirect them toward reason, calm, and understanding. The power to control your thoughts is one of the most profound abilities you possess. It allows you to navigate life's challenges with dignity and clarity, even when circumstances are difficult. A person who focuses on what is under their control can maintain composure, think clearly, and act wisely. When we focus on what we can control, we also free ourselves from unnecessary conflict. So much of human stress comes from trying to change others or forcing outcomes. By letting go of this illusion, by concentrating only on our own actions and choices, we conserve energy, reduce frustration, and live with greater ease. You learn to move through the world without being dragged by every event, complaint, or failure. Your attention is not scattered, but centered. Your mind becomes your ally instead of your enemy. This focus encourages responsibility. You realize that the only true power you have is over yourself, and with that power comes accountability. You cannot blame others for your emotions or your failures. You are fully responsible for how you think, feel, and act. This may sound daunting at first, but it is also liberating. When the world seems chaotic or unfair, you understand that your inner life is still within your control. It is a safe place where no one can harm you unless you allow it. Pause before reacting. Life often moves quickly, and our first response to events is usually emotional. When someone offends us, when a situation goes wrong, or when a difficulty arises, the mind instinctively reacts with anger, fear, or frustration. These immediate reactions are rarely helpful and often make situations worse. By pausing before reacting, we create space between the stimulus and our response. This space allows reason to guide our actions rather than impulse. The pause is simple but powerful. Even a single breath, a short moment of awareness, can prevent hours of regret, In that brief moment, the mind shifts from chaos to clarity, from reaction to choice. The ability to pause requires awareness. Most people move through life automatically, reacting without noticing the triggers that influence their emotions. A word, a gesture, or an event can provoke anger before the mind has time to assess the situation. By practicing awareness, we learn to recognize the moment when our emotions begin to rise. The pause is not about suppressing feelings, it is about observing them without being controlled by them. When anger, fear, or anxiety appears, we notice it, acknowledge it, and give ourselves time to choose a measured response. Pausing also allows us to see situations more clearly. Emotions often distort reality. Fear exaggerates danger, anger exaggerates offense, and sadness exaggerates loss. In the heat of the moment, the mind interprets events in ways that increase suffering. By stepping back, even briefly, we allow perspective to return. We can ask ourselves, is this truly as bad as it feels? What part of this can I influence? How would I act if I were calm? These questions guide the mind from reaction to reason. The pause becomes a bridge between the emotional mind and the rational mind, between chaos and calm. Practicing this pause in daily life is essential. Begin with small moments. If someone interrupts you, if a line moves slowly, or if a minor inconvenience occurs, notice your initial reaction. Take a breath, count silently, or simply observe your emotion. Gradually, this becomes a habit, and the pause extends naturally to more significant challenges. In moments of conflict, it can prevent arguments, reduce hurtful words, and create space for understanding. In moments of fear, it can prevent panic and allow thoughtful action. In moments of frustration, it can prevent rash decisions that lead to regret. The pause also strengthens self-mastery. Most disturbances in life are not caused by the external world but by our responses to it. By training the mind to pause, we reclaim authority over ourselves. We are no longer driven by impulses, but by intention. Every moment of pause reinforces the principle that our mind belongs to us, that our calm is not dependent on circumstances, and that our choices define our character. It becomes clear that the quality of life depends less on events themselves and more on how we meet them. The pause is not a weakness or avoidance. It is strength in practice. It allows us to act with purpose rather than react with reflex. In conversation, it gives room for listening before speaking. In decision-making, it gives space for clarity before choosing. In stress, it gives the mind a moment to regain balance before continuing. Life does not slow down for anyone, but the pause creates an inner rhythm that the outside world cannot disturb. The mind that learns to pause also gains patience. When events frustrate or annoy, the pause teaches that there is no need to be rushed by emotion. Patience grows naturally as we realize that a brief moment of stillness is more powerful than a lifetime of hurried reactions. The pause becomes a practice of mindfulness, a shield against turmoil, and a tool for wise living. Accept life's challenges without resistance. Life is full of difficulties, some expected, some sudden, some small, and some great. Everyone experiences loss, disappointment, pain, and uncertainty. These events are part of living, they are inevitable and cannot be avoided. Many people suffer not because of the events themselves, but because they resist them. They fight against what is happening, wish things were different, or complain about circumstances. This resistance creates additional suffering, making a temporary problem feel permanent. Accepting life's challenges means recognizing that obstacles are part of the natural order of life. It means understanding that difficulties are not personal attacks, but experiences that everyone faces. Acceptance does not mean weakness or passivity. It does not mean giving up or resigning oneself to harm. It means understanding reality as it is, seeing what cannot be changed, and responding wisely within those limits. When we resist, we waste energy. When we accept, we conserve energy for action where it is effective. Imagine a river flowing around a rock. The water does not fight the rock, it adjusts, finding a path forward. In the same way, the mind that accepts challenges flows around difficulties rather than being blocked by them. Acceptance allows the mind to remain calm and clear, ready to act rather than react in frustration or fear. Life's challenges are also opportunities for growth. Every difficulty teaches patience, resilience, and strength. When illness comes, it teaches care and humility. When loss comes, it teaches gratitude for what remains. When failure comes, it teaches perseverance and learning. By accepting challenges, we open the door to these lessons. Resistance blocks them. Complaining or resenting obstacles keeps the mind trapped in suffering, but acceptance transforms obstacles into tools for wisdom. Every difficulty becomes a teacher if we allow ourselves to see it clearly. Acceptance also requires shifting perspective. Often our judgment of events makes them feel worse than they are. We call something bad simply because it is not what we wanted. Yet what is natural cannot be bad in itself. Storms happen, seasons change, people act according to their nature. Events are neither good nor bad, they simply are. Our labeling of them creates suffering. By seeing challenges as part of life, we stop adding unnecessary weight to them. We accept that life is unpredictable and that we cannot control every outcome. This does not make us passive, it makes us wise. Practicing acceptance begins with small daily challenges. When inconveniences arise, when plans change, when others act in ways we do not like, notice the impulse to resist. Breathe, step back, and remind yourself that the situation is what it is. Accept it internally, then act with thought and reason. Over time, this habit grows stronger and extends to larger events. The mind that practices acceptance becomes steady and unshaken, able to face loss, failure, and uncertainty with dignity. Acceptance also strengthens courage. Life often presents situations that are uncomfortable or frightening. By resisting, we increase fear and anxiety. By accepting, we face them directly, recognizing them as part of existence. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to act rightly despite it. Acceptance allows us to meet challenges honestly, without self-deception or avoidance. Through acceptance, we also cultivate patience. Life does not always unfold according to our wishes. People disappoint, plans fail, and events take longer than expected. By accepting this reality, we stop fighting time and circumstances. Patience becomes natural, because the mind is not locked in struggle. The focus shifts from wishing for what cannot be changed to acting wisely within what can be influenced. Practice daily reflection or meditation. The mind, like a muscle, grows stronger with regular exercise. Without training, it becomes weak, distracted, and easily disturbed by events outside its control. Daily reflection allows the mind to observe itself, to understand its own habits, impulses, and reactions. It is a time to step back from the business of life and examine how we think, feel, and act. By doing this consistently, the mind becomes sharper, calmer, and more capable of handling challenges. Reflection is not a one-time act, it is a continuous habit that strengthens self-awareness and self-mastery. Daily reflection helps us see where we have succeeded and where we have failed. Often, we act out of habit or impulse without considering the consequences. By reviewing our day, we notice moments when we reacted poorly, spoke harshly, or let fear and anger control us. We also notice moments when we acted wisely, patiently, and with clarity. This practice is not about judgment or self-criticism. It is about understanding patterns in our behavior so we can improve. Each day becomes a lesson, and the mind becomes a laboratory for growth. Meditation or quiet reflection also trains the mind to be present. Life pulls us in many directions, past regrets, future worries, and endless distractions. The mind jumps from one thought to another, rarely resting. By taking time each day to sit quietly, to breathe, and to observe our thoughts, we practice stillness. Stillness is not emptiness, it is awareness. It is noticing thoughts as they arise, acknowledging them, and letting them pass without being swept away. This practice builds inner stability. When external events are chaotic or stressful, the mind that has practiced stillness can remain grounded. Reflection also strengthens judgment. By reviewing our choices, we begin to understand cause and effect more clearly. We see how actions lead to outcomes and how emotions influence decisions. This understanding allows us to act more wisely in the future. When we face challenges, the mind that practices reflection can assess the situation calmly, considering the best course of action rather than reacting impulsively. Experience alone is not enough. Conscious reflection turns experience into knowledge and knowledge into wisdom. Daily practice also cultivates gratitude and humility. When we pause to reflect, we see not only our mistakes but also our blessings. We notice the small moments of kindness, the opportunities we have, and the support we receive from others. Gratitude balances the mind, preventing it from becoming bitter or restless. Humility grows as we recognize our limitations and our dependence on circumstances beyond our control. Reflection reminds us that we are part of a larger world, not the center of it, and that acceptance of this truth brings peace. Consistency is key. A single day of reflection may bring insight, but repeated practice builds lasting strength. It trains the mind to notice impulses before they become actions, to respond rather than react, and to act in harmony with reason. Even a few minutes each day can accumulate into profound change. The habit of reflection creates a mind that is self-aware, calm, and capable of navigating life with clarity. Finally, reflection encourages intentional living. Most people move through life automatically, reacting to events and following habit without conscious choice. Reflection interrupts this pattern. It asks us to consider our values, our priorities, and our purpose. By regularly examining our thoughts and actions, we align ourselves with what truly matters. The mind becomes focused, disciplined, and resilient, able to maintain calm and make wise decisions even in the face of difficulty. See obstacles as opportunities to grow. Life is full of difficulties, setbacks, and unexpected events that can challenge our peace of mind. Most people see these moments as problems to be avoided or as injustices to be resented. But the mind that trains itself to remain calm recognizes a different truth: obstacles are not enemies, they are teachers. Every difficulty carries a lesson. Every setback is a chance to practice patience, courage, and resilience. When we approach obstacles in this way, challenges no longer disturb us as deeply because we understand their purpose and potential. Obstacles test the mind and character. When comfort is interrupted, when plans fail, when expectations are disappointed, our true strength is revealed. It is easy to remain calm and virtuous when life is smooth and everything goes as desired. Real strength is shown in adversity. By facing obstacles with acceptance and awareness, the mind becomes more disciplined and steady. Each challenge strengthens the ability to endure. Each setback teaches adaptability, and each failure provides insight into how we can act more wisely in the future. Life does not remove challenges, but it provides the opportunity to grow through them. Obstacles also reveal what we can control and what we cannot. When faced with difficulties, it is natural to feel frustration or helplessness. But if we pause and examine the situation, we see that some parts are within our control: our thoughts, our choices, our effort, while other parts are outside our power. Focusing on what we can influence allows us to respond effectively, while letting go of what we cannot control prevents wasted energy and unnecessary suffering. Every obstacle becomes a practice in discernment, teaching us to act where action is meaningful and to accept where it is not. This perspective changes the way we view failure. Most people fear failure because they see it as a loss or a reflection of weakness. But failure is simply feedback. It shows what does not work and points the way to improvement. By seeing obstacles and failures as opportunities, the mind shifts from fear to curiosity, from frustration to learning. Every difficulty becomes a step in the process of growth. Obstacles are not punishments. They are the tools life gives to shape our character, refine our judgment, and deepen our wisdom. Patience and perseverance grow naturally when obstacles are seen as opportunities. Life rarely gives instant success or perfect circumstances. Progress often comes slowly, with repeated effort and repeated challenge. When we welcome obstacles as part of the journey, we do not give in to discouragement. Each challenge is a chance to practice persistence, to keep moving forward even when the path is steep, and to trust that consistent effort builds strength. Patience is strengthened because we learn to endure difficulties without being overwhelmed by them. Obstacles also teach humility. They remind us that we are not masters of everything and that life has its own rhythm. The mind that sees obstacles as opportunities does not become arrogant in success or bitter in difficulty. It remains grounded, knowing that growth comes through effort, experience, and learning. By embracing challenges, the mind becomes more flexible, more resilient, and more capable of maintaining calm in any circumstance. The mind that treats obstacles as opportunities also gains creativity and resourcefulness. Challenges often require new solutions, new approaches, and new ways of thinking. By viewing obstacles positively, the mind is encouraged to explore possibilities, to adapt, and to innovate. Problems become puzzles to solve rather than walls to break. The more we practice this approach, the more skilled we become at navigating life's unpredictability with intelligence and calm. Keep perspective on what truly matters. Life is filled with distractions, worries, and events that can seem urgent in the moment, but are ultimately insignificant. Many people allow themselves to be consumed by trivial matters, by the opinions of others, or by imagined fears. They give their attention and energy to things that, in the larger view of life, have little real importance. By keeping perspective, we train the mind to focus on what truly matters: our character, our actions, our values, and our inner peace. When we see clearly what is significant and what is not, the mind remains calm even in difficult circumstances. Perspective allows us to distinguish between minor inconveniences and true challenges. A delayed meeting, a harsh word, or a temporary setback can feel like a crisis when we lose sight of the bigger picture. Yet, in the grand scale of life, these events are small. They are fleeting, often forgotten within hours or days. By comparing them to the broader journey of life, the mind learns not to overreact. Keeping perspective is not about dismissing reality, but about measuring it accurately. It is about asking, will this matter a week from now, a month from now, a year from now? This simple question helps us focus on what is meaningful and avoid unnecessary suffering. Maintaining perspective also strengthens resilience. Life is unpredictable, and unexpected events will always occur. Without perspective, the mind can be easily overwhelmed by difficulties, turning small problems into mountains of worry. By remembering what is truly important, we protect the mind from being swept away by temporary disturbances. Perspective reminds us that no matter the event, our inner life and our choices remain central. External challenges do not have the power to destroy our peace unless we allow them to dominate our attention. Perspective also deepens gratitude. When we see life in its larger context, we notice what we have rather than what we lack. We see the people who care for us, the opportunities that exist, and the simple comforts that make life possible. Many suffer because they focus only on what they do not have or on what has gone wrong. By keeping perspective, we recognize that life is already rich with value, and we learn to appreciate it. Gratitude becomes a natural response, and the mind grows steadier and more content. Perspective encourages patience and acceptance. Some events require time to unfold, and many outcomes are beyond our immediate control. By seeing the bigger picture, we understand that delays, mistakes, and obstacles are part of the natural order. We do not demand instant perfection or immediate results. Instead, we act where we can and accept what we cannot change. This view reduces anxiety and fosters a calm, patient approach to life. Perspective also guides decision-making. When faced with choices, the mind can be clouded by emotion, fear, or desire for immediate gratification. By stepping back and considering what truly matters, we make wiser decisions that align with long-term values rather than short-term impulses. This approach minimizes regret and strengthens the ability to act with integrity, even under pressure. Finally, perspective reminds us of the fleeting nature of life. Many worries that feel urgent today will seem trivial tomorrow. Time passes quickly, and life is fragile. Keeping this in mind encourages us to live with intention, to focus on what strengthens our character, and to devote energy to meaningful actions rather than being distracted by unimportant matters. The mind that practices perspective becomes calm, grounded, and able to navigate life's challenges with clarity and composure. Cultivate gratitude for small blessings. Life is full of things we often take for granted: health, shelter, food, friends, the ability to learn, and even the passing of a day without harm. Many people focus only on what they lack, on what has gone wrong, or on what they wish were different. This focus creates dissatisfaction, anxiety, and frustration. Gratitude shifts attention from absence to presence, from complaint to appreciation, from restlessness to calm. By noticing the simple blessings around us, we train the mind to find contentment in what already exists, rather than chasing what is always out of reach. Gratitude also strengthens awareness. When we take a moment to recognize the small gifts of life, we become more attentive to reality. We notice the warmth of sunlight, the taste of a meal, the smile of a friend, or the quiet of a peaceful morning. These are not trivial details. They are the moments that make life rich and meaningful. The mind that observes and appreciates these small blessings becomes grounded and less easily disturbed by external events. Daily practice of gratitude sharpens perception and increases the ability to find calm amidst uncertainty. Gratitude teaches humility. By recognizing that much of what we enjoy is not solely the result of our own effort, we cultivate a sense of humility. Life provides opportunities, circumstances, and relationships that we did not create entirely on our own. By acknowledging this, the mind becomes less arrogant and more accepting of both success and misfortune. Gratitude reminds us that we are part of a larger world and that our well-being often depends on factors beyond ourselves, encouraging patience and perspective. Gratitude also strengthens resilience. When difficulties arise, the mind that practices appreciation can still find points of stability. Even in the midst of loss or hardship, there are elements of life that remain: the ability to breathe, to think, to act, or to care for others. Recognizing these small constants provides comfort and steadiness. Instead of being consumed by negativity, the mind turns toward what endures, drawing strength from the blessings that remain, even in challenging times. Daily practice of gratitude trains the mind to focus on the positive aspects of life without denying reality. It is not a matter of ignoring difficulties or pretending that hardships do not exist. Instead, gratitude balances the mind, allowing it to hold both challenge and blessing simultaneously. By noticing what is good, the mind becomes less reactive, more centered, and better able to act wisely. Gratitude provides a lens through which events are measured more accurately and calmly, reducing overreaction to setbacks and increasing appreciation for ordinary life. Gratitude also encourages generosity and connection. When we recognize what we have been given, we are more likely to share with others and to act with kindness. This strengthens relationships and community, which are themselves sources of calm and support. A grateful mind is a mind that sees value in others, that acts with care, and that contributes rather than only seeking personal gain. In this way, gratitude becomes not only an internal practice, but an outward expression of virtue and calm influence. Finally, gratitude creates a habit of reflection and mindfulness. By intentionally noticing and appreciating the small blessings each day, the mind slows down, observes life more closely, and experiences the present moment more fully. Instead of rushing through life consumed by desire or complaint, the mind pauses, reflects, and recognizes the richness that already exists. This daily attention to blessing strengthens calm, cultivates contentment, and allows the mind to approach every situation with steadiness and clarity. Let go of anger, fear, and judgment. These emotions often dominate the mind and disturb inner calm. Anger arises when we feel wronged, fear when we anticipate harm, and judgment when we measure people or events against our desires or expectations. These reactions are natural, but they are not useful. They cloud reasoning, disturb peace, and lead to unnecessary suffering. By learning to release them, the mind becomes free to act with clarity, patience, and wisdom. Letting go does not mean ignoring injustice or danger, but it means refusing to allow these emotions to control thought or behavior. Anger, in particular, is a powerful force that can overwhelm the mind. It often arises instantly and spreads quickly, like fire in dry grass. When we hold on to anger, it distorts perception, exaggerates offense, and encourages actions that may harm ourselves or others. By observing anger, understanding its source, and choosing not to act on it impulsively, the mind regains control. The energy that would fuel resentment can instead be directed toward thoughtful response, problem solving, or personal growth. Learning to release anger requires patience and practice, but the result is freedom from the chains of reactivity. Fear is another emotion that disrupts calm. Fear focuses attention on imagined threats, often exaggerating danger or assuming the worst. When the mind is dominated by fear, it becomes anxious, hesitant, and prone to avoidance. Letting go of fear does not mean ignoring reality or taking reckless risks. It means acknowledging the uncertainty of life while maintaining composure and choosing action based on reason rather than panic. By understanding that fear is a product of imagination rather than fact, the mind can step back, evaluate the situation, and act wisely. Releasing fear strengthens courage and allows the mind to remain steady in the face of difficulty. Judgment also disturbs inner calm. People judge themselves and others constantly, comparing outcomes to ideals or expectations. This habit often leads to dissatisfaction, resentment, or superiority. When judgment dominates thought, it prevents the mind from seeing reality clearly. By letting go of judgment, the mind learns to accept what is, rather than being enslaved by notions of right and wrong according to personal preference. This does not mean abandoning moral principles. It means responding to situations with understanding and reason rather than reacting from bias, anger, or pride. The process of letting go involves awareness. We must first notice when anger, fear, or judgment arises. We observe the sensations in the body, the thoughts that accompany the emotion, and the impulse to act on them. Awareness creates distance between the feeling and the response. In that space, choice exists. We can either surrender to the emotion, allowing it to dictate action, or we can release it, acting with reason and calm. This practice requires consistency, as the mind will naturally return to habitual reactions. Releasing these emotions also promotes harmony with others. Anger, fear, and judgment often create conflict, misunderstanding, and resentment in relationships. A mind that lets go of these impulses interacts with clarity, patience, and compassion. Communication becomes more thoughtful, decisions become less reactive, and relationships benefit from steadiness and trust. By managing these inner states, we not only protect our own calm, but also contribute to a calmer, more rational environment around us. Finally, letting go strengthens resilience. Life is unpredictable, and challenges will always arise. Anger, fear, and judgment amplify difficulties, making them seem larger than they are. By releasing these emotions, the mind becomes more adaptable, focused, and capable of navigating adversity without being overwhelmed. Each challenge can be met with composure, every setback with understanding, and every conflict with measured response. The mind that practices letting go is free to act with wisdom, maintain inner peace, and face life with confidence and clarity.